Next, we are studying the reflection method or the echo method to find the distance of the hill, which we have already covered in our lower classes. This is a hill. Suppose we are present at a certain distance s away from the hill. In order to measure the distance of the hill, we are using the reflection or the echo method. What we do, we may fire a gun and we have to hear its echo, so that total time taken between firing of the gun and the hearing of echo is to be noted down. Let v is the velocity of the sound in the material medium, that is air. So we take the help of a stopwatch. Just as soon as the gun is fired, the stopwatch is started. The sound travels towards the hill, suffers reflection, comes back towards us, and as soon as the echo is heard, the reflection of the sound is heard, we stop the stopwatch. Let t is the total time taken for the hearing of the echo. By making the use of simple definition of speed, which is total distance covered over total time taken, the speed of the sound v is equal to total distance covered, which is sound travels a distance s while going towards the hill, again covers a distance s while moving from hill towards the observer. So it covers a total distance s plus s equal to 2s. T is the total time taken, so v is equal to 2s over t, or the distance of the person from the hill is equal to v into t by 2. We know that standard value of the speed of the sound in the air is around 350 meter per second. So if we are able to measure the time taken for hearing of echo, we will be able to measure the distance of the hill. Next, reflection method for the distance of the moon. Same method can be used for also finding the distance of the moon. Only difference that here we are not going to make use of sound waves, but here we will make use of the laser light, because sound cannot travel through the vacuum. Laser stands for light amplification by stimulated emission of the radiation. So here also we use the same method. We will throw a laser light of sufficient strong intensity towards the surface of the moon. It will suffer reflection from the moon and it will again come towards the surface of earth. So what we have to do, as soon as we switch on the laser light, we will start our stopwatch. It will go to the moon, it will suffer reflection and it will again come back. As soon as we observe or see the reflected light from the surface of the moon, we stop the stopwatch. If t is the time taken, again using the same formula, speed is equal to total distance over total time. We have distance of the moon from the earth equal to speed of light multiplied by time taken divided by 2. We know that speed of light is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So using this formula we can find out the distance of the moon. Americans, when first visited on the moon, they installed on the surface of the moon parabolic reflectors, so that if any laser light is thrown on those parabolic reflectors present on the surface of the moon, it will suffer reflection, so that using this method we can measure the distance of the moon from the earth. So from those calculations it was observed that the average distance of the moon from the sun is around 3,84,000 kilometers. Distance of a nearby planet from the earth. Distance of a nearby planet from the earth using radar method. For example, it is valid for Venus or Mars, not for the other planets which are farther away from the Venus or the Mars. Radar stands for radio detection and ranging. This method makes use of a radio wave, suitable radio wave or suitable intensity and frequency so that it is able to travel in the vacuum present between the Earth and the Venus or Earth and the Mars. Method is the same. We have to shoot a suitable radio wave towards the planet. It will go towards the planet, it will suffer reflection and again come back. We just have to note down the total time taken. If c is the speed of the radio wave, which is equal to speed of light 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second, using this formula we can measure the distance of that planet from the Earth. This method is also used for location of the aeroplanes in the atmosphere. There also a suitable radio wave is used. So from the radar present at any point on the ground, a suitable radio wave of sufficient frequency and intensity is fired towards the aeroplane. It suffers reflection from the surface of the aeroplane and it is again received by the radar system. So total time taken for the radio wave to travel towards the aeroplane and coming back is noted down. So using the same formulas, S is equal to C into T by 2, we can make use of find the distance of that aeroplane from the radar. Last is finding the depth of seabed using sonar method. We know that sonar stands for sound navigation and ranging, which makes use of ultrasonic sound waves which have frequency greater than the audible range of the human beings. That means they have frequency greater than 20 kilohertz. So if this is the seabed and this is the free surface of the water, there will be a ship present on the surface of the water, at the bottom part of which a ultrasound system will be fixed. It will send an ultrasonic wave towards the seabed. Suppose its distance from the free surface of the water is S. The sound wave will travel towards the bed, it will suffer reflection and it will again come towards the ultrasound system. Suppose T is the total time taken for the sound wave to go towards the bed and again come back. So in that case, again using the same formula, S is equal to V into T by 2, we can find out the distance of the seabed from the free surface of the water. Here V is the velocity of the ultrasound in the water. Remember, ultrasound is only a sound having frequency greater than 20 kilohertz, but it travels with the same speed in air as a common sound beams are traveling, that is around 350 meter per second. But when the same sound is sent inside a material medium, for example water, its speed increases and it becomes around 1400 or 1500 meter per second. So these were few methods of measuring the larger distances. Thank you.